Hi Sagittarius, welcome back to my channel Tarot Z. I am Z and I'm going to be doing your tarot reading, finding out what are the messages with the cards that come out in this reading for you today. Thank you so much for joining and for being here for the reading. So let's begin. Let's find out what cards come out, what messages come through as the cards. So the first card we have is the Eight of Cups. It's shown up in the reverse. But we do have some water sign energy with this. You could be dealing with Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio. We have the Nine of Cups, and we have the Seven of Swords showing up in the reverse. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the Four of Swords in the reverse. So this Four of Swords showing up here in the reverse, this does feel like an energy of having had been in a period of silence or having had not heard from somebody in quite some time. With this card showing up in the reverse, this does feel like an end to that kind of a period and being able to hear from someone. I do feel like someone also being in a space where they feel ready to be able to either interact or to be able to actually bring something up, but I do feel like communication is also something that's on the horizon. I do feel like with the Eight of Cups showing up over here, this does feel like an energy of someone who is in a space where emotionally they do feel strong enough to be able to face a situation that perhaps may have been daunting once. But I do feel like with the Eight of Cups showing up over here in the reverse, it feels like an energy of someone who's ready to face something and also ready to be able to, I do feel like actually when it comes to addressing a situation and taking accountability also, I do feel like with this Eight of Cups showing up in the reverse, this also feels like an energy of somebody who may have actually been in a space where it could have felt like they may have abandoned the situation and being in a space where they are making either a return or something is being brought back up. But with the Nine of Cups showing up over here, this does feel like a contained energy. It does feel like when it comes to something being brought up, it's like you have moved on from it. It's something you are no longer hung up over, or it's not something that affects you that deeply. I do feel like with this Nine of Cups showing up over here, this feels like an energy of contentment. And I do feel like, especially when it comes to relationships to yourself, it's like you're in a good place. I also feel like when it comes to a connection with someone, this also feels like an energy of reaching a space of being able to feel a sense of security, but also just a sense of being able to feel at ease with things, feeling like you're okay with the way things are going. But this Nine of Cups showing up over here, this feels like a sense of contentment within a connection, but I also feel like within yourself. This does feel like a pretty positive and even harmonious energy to be experiencing and a great place to be in. I do feel like though, with the Seven of Swords showing up in the reverse, there definitely is communication that somebody wants to be able to get across or be able to communicate to you. Seems like there is also a sense of being in a space of somebody wanting to be able to be open with you, especially when it comes to being able to communicate something that is either weighing heavy on them or they do feel this need to be able to let it out because it is something they can no longer hold in. So I'm going to clarify these cards. So we have the Four of Wands, we have the Judgment card, and we have the Justice card. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Two of Cups. So we do have some Scorpio energy with this Judgment card, as well as some Libra energy with the Justice card. But the Two of Cups showing up over here, this does feel like an energy of a relationship. I also feel like a sense of being able to make something work with someone and having the same goal in mind when it comes to being able to work something out. I do also feel that there is a sense of being able to experience what may be a negotiation or being able to actually have an equal and fair, honest conversation with someone that is leading to being able to be on the same page. Do you feel like with this Two of Cups showing up over here, this does feel like an energy of being able to have a relationship between two people who are coming from the same place? I also feel like when it comes to a relationship, this also feels like an energy of having a lot of emotions online, but I do feel like that feeling is also quite reciprocated between two people. I do feel like it's quite a compatible energy too. Though with the Four of Wands showing up over here, this does feel like stable energy. I do feel like with this Eight of Cups showing up in the reverse, this feels like an energy of someone who may actually have gone through a process of going back and forth within their mind. This feels like a sense of this person settling on a decision. I do feel like with the Four of Wands showing up over here, this also feels like an energy of being in a space where there is a desire to be able to actually work on the foundation in a connection. I do feel like with the Four of Wands, this feels like an energy of a great partnership or even collaboration between two people when it comes to creating something. This does feel like also having a lot of potential for having a strong relationship with somebody when it comes to being able to work with them and partner up with them as well. Do you feel like that's something this person desires or is really motivated by being able to achieve? Do you feel like with the Four of Wands, this also feels like a wedding energy? So there is a sense of somebody having that in mind when it comes to being about the future, or even just when it comes to really viewing you as the right person to be able to have that with. And I do feel like there is a sense of also feeling this empowered sense of being able to be in this connection. It's like they are viewing you as the ideal partner to be able to work on something with. Like they are viewing you as that marriage material. I do feel like with the Judgment card showing up over here, this does feel like an energy of being able to implement a lot of strong discernment. So it does feel like there is a sense of someone putting you in a position to decide. But I do feel like with this Judgment card showing up over here, this is not a decision that's being taken lightly. This does feel like also a sense of being able to put your well-being into taking that into account when it comes to making this decision. I do feel like with this Judgment card showing up over here, this does also feel like an energy of being able to really see things in a different light. So I do also feel like there is something about this connection or even this time where you're viewing this connection through a different perspective. There is a sense of looking at things from a different viewpoint as well. But I do feel like with the Nine of Cups showing up over here, it feels like being in a good place. So it does also feel like having a stronger sense of, do you feel like discernment over someone, but also over the situation as well as how it affects you, especially when it comes to taking your own well-being into account. But with the Judgment card showing up over here, this does also feel like an energy of there is somewhat of a condition that is necessary to be met by someone. And I do feel like it's like you're also standing up for that condition in being able to make a decision when it comes to this connection. I do feel like with the Justice card showing up over here, this does feel like an energy of being able to experience some truth being brought into a situation. It's like somebody is actually being very honest and candid with you, with the Justice card showing up underneath the Seven of Swords. But it does feel like truthful communication. Also being able to find out more about somebody and being able to actually have that be something that affects your perspective on the situation. But I do feel like this is a sense of this person being in a space where they feel ready to be able to communicate something and get something across to you. That could actually be something that's quite important. They do feel like there is a sense of communication also playing a huge part in being able to actually get to make a decision with this person. They do feel like this person would be the one wanting to reach out to you. So I'm going to clarify these cards. We have a soulmate card. We have a codependency card. And we have the honeymoon card. So the soulmate card showing up over here, I'm getting this card pertaining to the Four of Wands. This does feel like an energy of somebody wanting to be able to build with you, wanting to be able to create something that's going to lead to something very meaningful. I also feel like as far as the way they feel about your connection, there is a sense of feeling like they have that soulmate connection with you. There is a sense of them actually viewing you as being the ideal partner to be able to partner up with in this lifetime. I do feel like with that Eight of Cups shown up in the reverse, this also feels like a sense of someone being in a space where do you feel like they may have gone through a much introspection. And I do feel like with this Eight of Cups, this actually feels like an energy of someone being in a space of realization of just how much you mean to them, or just how much this connection means to them. I do feel like they don't want to lose it, they wouldn't want to lose you, because they do feel this soulmate connection with you. I do feel like with the codependency card showing up over here, this does feel like an energy of being able to break free from any kind of a codependent pattern within this connection. I am getting that with this Nine of Cups showing up over here. This feels like an energy of liberation. This does feel like a sense of being in a space where it's like you are pouring into your cup in a way that is also favoring your well-being within a connection as it unfolds with somebody else. So it does feel like also putting a lot of focus on yourself, but in a way that does also allow for being able to have a connection that is going to thrive as opposed to one that's going to be weighed down with someone. So it does feel like an energy of being in a space where I do feel like you may have actually taken a lot of time to be able to invest in being able to do the self-care, be able to do the work. And I do feel like with the Judgment card showing up over here, it does feel like a lot of epiphanies or a lot of awakening moments also being experienced when it comes to where you're at within this connection with someone. I do feel like with the codependency card showing up over here, this does also feel like an energy of really breaking free from habits of connecting with somebody from a space where it does feel more so on the codependent side. This does feel like a sense of being attached rather than being involved in a connection with somebody that is kind of growing more healthily. So I do feel like with the codependency card showing up over here, this does feel like an energy of actually transcending that type of way of connecting. I do feel like with the honeymoon card showing up over here, this does feel like pleasant energy that is on the horizon when it comes to also the way in which somebody wants to be able to approach you, wants to be able to make even an offer. Do you feel like this could even have to do with a trip on the horizon, that somebody may be offering you, wanting to be able to experience pleasant moments within your connection, either to make up for lost time or to make up for even just them being in a space of wanting to be able to actually, do you feel like make up something to you? Do you feel like with the honeymoon card showing up over here, this feels like an energy of being able to experience good moments? I do feel like this Four of Swords showing up in the reverse does feel like an energy of someone who is, they could actually be in a space where they are, I do feel like there's something they've done. It's like they have been doing the work, or they have been introspecting, or they have been doing what is necessary for them to experience that sense of revitalized energy or replenishing. There's a sense of also being in a space where do you feel like this person's showing up better than before for you and for your connection. So those are the messages I'm getting with these cards for you, Sagittarius, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye, Sagittarius.